When most people hear the word budget, they immediately feel trapped. They imagine spreadsheets full of numbers, a life without freedom, counting pennies, and endless sacrifice. That fear alone stops millions from taking control of their finances. But here's the truth. Budgeting is not about restriction. It's about freedom. It's about choosing what matters most to you and directing your money toward your priorities instead of letting it slip through your fingers. Your spending patterns are deeply emotional. Money is tied to comfort, identity, and even self-worth. When you try to impose a strict budget without understanding your emotions, it feels unnatural. You rebel. You feel guilty. You fail. This is why traditional cut-everything approaches don't work. They ignore the psychology behind your choices. The first step to budget successfully is awareness, not restriction. Track your expenses without judgment. Watch where your money goes and notice your triggers. Is it stress spending? Is it keeping up with others? Awareness gives clarity, and clarity gives control. Once you know the truth of your habits, you can make intentional decisions instead of reacting blindly. The second step is aligning your spending with your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Experiences, security, freedom, family, personal growth? Budgeting becomes empowering when you give money a purpose. Every dollar gets a role not because it must, but because it serves something meaningful. Purpose transforms budgeting from punishment into a tool for achieving what you truly want. Another mistake is overthinking every dollar. Extreme restriction creates burnout. It feels like a cage, and humans naturally rebel against cages. Instead, think in categories and percentages. Allocate money to essentials, savings, investments, and discretionary spending. This approach provides structure while allowing flexibility. You don't need to live a life of austerity to budget effectively. You need intentionality. Budgeting also teaches self-respect. Every time you choose to save, invest, or delay an impulsive purchase, you reinforce the idea that your future self matters. This psychological shift is powerful. It transforms your relationship with money from one of fear or obligation into one of respect, control, and freedom. Finally, remember this: budgeting is a skill, not a punishment. It takes practice, patience, and occasional adjustments. You will make mistakes, you will overspend, you will feel guilty, but every effort compounds, just like money. Small, consistent adjustments create lasting habits that eventually lead to financial peace, security, and freedom. Budgeting doesn't have to feel like punishment. The trick is to design a system that works with your psychology, not against it. Start by separating your money into clear categories. Essentials, savings, investments, and discretionary spending are the foundation. The key is to give yourself freedom inside each category. When you know there is money set aside for the things that bring you joy, you stop feeling deprived. Budgeting becomes a guide, not a cage. One of the most effective strategies is the pay yourself first method. The moment you earn, allocate a portion for savings or investing before you spend on anything else. This simple habit shifts your mindset. Money is no longer a passive resource you react to. It becomes an intentional tool for growth. Even if you can only save $50 or $100 at first, the act of doing it consistently changes your relationship with money entirely. Next, embrace flexible budgeting. Life is unpredictable, and rigid plans fail under pressure. Instead of limiting yourself with strict caps, set ranges or percentages. Allow yourself to adjust categories month to month. Overspending occasionally is fine. The goal is direction, not perfection. This approach prevents guilt, frustration, and rebellion against your plan while keeping you on track overall. Another powerful tactic is conscious discretionary spending. Instead of blindly buying, pause and ask, does this purchase bring long-term satisfaction, or is it a temporary thrill? Many of the moments we regret financially come from impulsive decisions. By training yourself to spend intentionally, you keep the joy of life while avoiding financial stress. Automation is your secret weapon. Set up automatic transfers to savings, bills, and investments. This reduces the burden on your willpower and prevents money from slipping away unnoticed. When systems handle the heavy lifting, your focus can stay on decisions that require attention, not on micromanaging every dollar. Tracking is not punishment, it is insight. Use apps, spreadsheets, or simple journals to monitor trends. When you see patterns over weeks and months, budgeting becomes empowering because you can act strategically rather than react emotionally. Awareness is the foundation of control. Another critical habit is building fun money. Allocate a portion specifically for enjoyment without guilt. This might be dining out, hobbies, entertainment, or small luxuries. Giving yourself permission to spend on joy keeps motivation high and prevents the resentment that often derails budgets. You will find that when your priorities are aligned, even this discretionary money is spent thoughtfully, not impulsively. Budgeting is also about experimentation. What works for someone else may not work for you. Some people thrive with strict weekly limits. Others prefer monthly guidelines. Test methods, see what feels sustainable, and adjust over time. The key is consistency, not perfection. Over weeks, months, and years, small improvements in how you manage money compound into real financial security and freedom. Finally, budgeting without restriction is about mindset. Shift from I can't to I choose. Every dollar you allocate is a conscious decision to serve your goals. This subtle psychological change transforms budgeting from a task you dread into a tool that empowers you, reduces stress, and builds a foundation for wealth. You aren't limiting yourself. You're taking control. The real magic of budgeting doesn't show up in the first week or even the first month. It appears over time, quietly, as habits compound and financial awareness becomes second nature. Budgeting without feeling restricted is not about limiting yourself today. It's about creating freedom for tomorrow. Every intentional choice you make builds a foundation that supports your future, protects your options, and reduces stress in ways that spending blindly never can. Once you consistently track and allocate your money, you begin to notice patterns. You see which purchases bring real value and which drain joy. You start making decisions with foresight instead of impulse. This clarity transforms not just your finances, but your mindset. Money stops being a source of anxiety and starts being a tool that works for you. That shift is liberating. It feels like a weight lifted off your shoulders. Budgeting also allows you to plan for life's uncertainties. Emergencies, opportunities, and unexpected changes no longer create panic. You have reserves, systems, and habits in place that let you respond calmly. Financial stability built through thoughtful budgeting gives you confidence, reduces fear, and allows you to focus on growth instead of survival. Freedom is not only having money, it's knowing you are prepared and in control. Over time, budgeting amplifies your ability to invest, save, and build wealth. The money you consciously allocate becomes seed capital for bigger goals, investments, businesses, or experiences that enrich your life. When you master the skill of managing small amounts today, you are prepared to handle large amounts tomorrow. Budgeting is training for financial responsibility, a gym for your future self, where discipline, patience, and awareness grow stronger every day. Another hidden benefit is emotional freedom. When you know where your money goes, guilt and anxiety fade. You stop feeling conflicted about spending because every decision aligns with your priorities. Budgeting is not deprivation, it is clarity. It allows you to enjoy life fully while building security silently in the background. You can dine out, travel, or enjoy hobbies without fear because your system ensures your future is protected. Consistency is key. Even imperfect budgets work when repeated. Even small steps create compounding results. Skipping a day or overspending occasionally does not undo the progress. What matters is that the habit persists. Over months and years, budgeting becomes second nature. You no longer have to think about it constantly. It becomes part of how you live, and your money begins to serve you automatically. Budgeting without restriction is also about alignment. When your money aligns with your values, your life feels intentional. You invest in what truly matters: health, education, family, experiences, and security, instead of chasing trends or others' expectations. This alignment reduces stress, improves decision-making, and provides a deep sense of satisfaction that nothing bought impulsively can replace. This is Lessons of Wisdom, where money, mindset, and wealth are explained simply, honestly, and without illusions. Budget intentionally, spend consciously, build habits that protect your freedom, and remember, true financial independence begins the moment you take control, not when you earn more.